How we doing today, everybody? I am inside the front office at the shop. Well, because a lot of people have never seen the front office, and because I'm being a secretary today because I don't have one. So the phone may ring, people may come in, we may have to cut just to let you know. Anyway, hey, thank you for the support. Make sure we're commenting on this video when we're done with this. But you guys have asked for this video. Jordan told me, and I was like, what? People really? And he's like, yeah, people want to hear what you used to own and what you've had. So that's what this is. This is a team talk about Andy and what boats I've owned. And I'm not going to get in depth with all of them. We're just going to get in depth with, let's say, most of them that related to my fishing and getting me into the boating world that I got into. So at the end of this video, make sure we're commenting on what boats you've owned or the boat you have now. We want to see the picture. We want to comment. We want to hear about it. We want to see it because, hey, I just like looking at boats. So make sure we're doing that. All right, here we go. We're going to start back in the day when I was real small. When I was real small, couldn't drive. I was probably about 12 or 13 years old. It was about the first time my dad actually let me go out in the boat by myself, and that's out here on the river. It was a 14-foot John boat that was extra narrow and had a 15 horsepower Johnson on it. That's what I started with. The front deck was literally 2 of these wide, probably. And that's what I had. I had a little trolling motor, Minn Kota, that I push the button, flip it down, spin it around in circles to go that way, and then spin it backwards and we go that way. So it was all messed up, using my foot a lot, standing on the front deck. Started that way, started with that boat, leaked horrible, no bilge pumps, nothing, no batteries on board except for the one battery for the 12 volt hand click, click, click trolling motor that I think everybody had in their pond. I was using it out here on the river. No electric start, rope, kill, choke, same stuff. That's what got me into boating. That boat right there got me into boating. Go down the river and it literally would flex just like this. Going down the river, it looked horrible. But I loved it. I loved fishing in it. I learned the river with that boat at the age of 12, 13, 14. My dad dropped me off, said I'd be back, pick you up at this time, and he'd be back, and if I wasn't back, it was a bad time. So it never let me down. It never didn't start. It was probably one of the most reliable boats that I ever had. I think it was a 1978 Alumacraft flat bottom. When I say flat bottom, I mean flat bottom. Extra narrow, extra shallow, no deck extension, nothing, with a 1985 Johnson 15 horse rope start, stop, go, that's it. We never did any service to it, nothing. I just went fishing out of it every day. That's what I started with. All right, so then I get it through, I get into high school. Actually, probably just before high school, I was probably one of the only kids that had a bass boat. Ended up buying a Skeeter. I don't even know how to say this. Is this Strata? Skeeter Strata. I had one of these, people. It was an F80 with an Evinrude 70 on the back. That was bought in Stoddard, Wisconsin. I think Jordan was impressed that I was able to label where we got all these boats. I can remember where I bought every single one of these boats, and I could take you to the exact spot. If you don't believe me, let's go for a ride. This was in Stoddard, Wisconsin. We bought it. It had a gold stripe. It was like a ketchup red with gold stripe. It was ugly. But it was in good shape. Had good carpeting in it. My brother and I actually fished out of it. That was like a 15-foot boat, almost 16-foot fiberglass boat with a 70 on it. We removed the oil injection, the VRO. It had a VRO. We removed the oil injection on it. My brother is 6'10", people. My brother is literally almost like 7 foot tall, and at that point I was probably 6 foot, and we were using 7-foot rods. You know how this shit went down. All right, I mean, it's like you cast first, I'll cast second, or we'll figure out how to cast overhead or use our opposite hands. That's what made me the kind of fisherman I'm in. I mean, cast with this hand, I can cast with this hand, I can reel with both. Just because you had to adjust that. I mean, he was literally where that door is right there. I mean, casting a 7-foot rod. So I mean, the rod tip's like right here. It was insane, but it was a blast. Had an Evinrude trolling motor on it. We blew that one up. That one blew up. I blew that one up. We got that rebuilt and I sold it. Danny actually rebuilt it for us. That was before, obviously, I worked for Danny. And then when I got into high school, I figured, well, you know, hey, let's go bigger, right? So that's what I did. I bought a Skeeter Starfire 150. The Starfire 150 came with an Evinrude XP 150. That boat was purchased on French Island, Wisconsin. A gentleman had it. It was actually in really good shape. Went and looked at it with my dad. He looked at me and said, "Do you really want to do this?" I said, "Yeah, I want to do this." So at like I don't even, it was probably like before I could drive into, like 15 going to 16, I had that bass boat, and he would actually back me in, take me down, because I knew it before I could drive. And then I had it through, I was like 16, and I remember taking the loan out for that. He went and took the loan, I had to pay him, and then it just transferred in after I got to be 16. People wonder why I've been working since I was like 14 to 13, mowing lawns like when I was 10 to pay for boats. He was actually able to, he would drop me off, and then I was able to start to do it myself, basically hook onto it. Had an old Skeeter trailer that wasn't, it was like, that one was burgundy and silver. For some reason, burgundy's always been a color for me. It was burgundy and silver, and it had like a primed trailer, you know what I mean? So the Skeeter logos weren't there. It was all primed, but it had that cool console where you could lift it up. Everybody that's watching that knows what boat I'm talking about is going, yeah, I know which boat. So you can literally lift it up. I can put my tackle in there. It was pretty awesome. It was a pretty awesome boat. Oh, we got a cut. We got people coming in. Cut. We're back. Okay, took care of the customers. We're back. I told you that's the way it's going to be. All right, so we moved on from the Starfire. That's over with. I did blow that up. Did I mention that? I blew that up. So that's 2 boats, 2 blow-ups. Here we go. 19-foot Hydrosport came next. Phone's ringing. You're going to have to deal with that. 19-foot Hydrosport. I picked it up in Lewiston, Minnesota. It had a 150 Evinrude intruder on it. Had the hand trolling motor with the power. Anybody, if anybody knows this, you gotta say, yeah, I had one of them. It had literally the switch where you stepped on the floor and it power stowed and deployed. It was awesome. It was the first ever. I had one. It was great. That's about it on that boat. I drove the shit out of it. Used it. It was pretty quick, actually. I did not blow that intruder up. It was a great boat. I remember the first tournament I fished out of it, I took a check in it. It was the Trempealeau Days tournament, Trempealeau Catfish Days. I literally took a check in it first time, took 3rd in it at Trempealeau. It was awesome. So, after we got done with that mess, we bought a Skeeter, another one. Skeeter seemed to be a trend here for a while. I bought a ZX202C. It was black, red, had a carbureted VMAX 200 on the back. Picked it up in Tallahassee, Florida. Went to Tallahassee, Florida. Somebody's here, hold on. Yeah, Ryan?
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Got my electronics.
Yeah, you want them? He wants his electronic. Can we cut for a second? Cut! Boom, we're back. Are we ready? Are we rolling? We're rolling. We're back. Took care of that, Ryan. So we're on to the ZX202C. Is somebody else coming in? No. Okay. It had a Yamaha 200. I think I said that. Carbureted. Picked up Tallahassee, Florida. Drove my happy ass all the way to Tallahassee, Florida. Terry Wood, my dad, and myself got in my pickup truck. Drove all the way down there to get that. Picked it up. Brought it back here. Drove it. Blew it up. Had it built. I was actually working in the marine industry at this time when I brought this home. I ran it for like 2 years up here, blew it up, and then had that, rebuilt it. I ran it again for, I would say another 1.5 years probably, and it blew again. So I blew it twice, and we actually built it again. The second time was a fuel failure. It was epic what happened. It was just a complete mess inside what happened. The fuel lines broke down, actually got through the filter. Tiny little bits got into the carburetor, jammed up the high-speed jets, leaned it out, blew it. The pieces were literally wedged inside there. It was cool. Blew that up, actually sold it, never blew again. Guy had it, bought it locally, sold it again. It ended up over by Minneapolis. That guy had it for a while. He sold it, and the last I heard about it, I think it was in Indiana. So that's where that boat ended up. So that was a big story on that boat. Moved on. Always wanted a champion, and guess what I bought next? I drove my butt clear to Missouri with my dad, and I went and picked up a Champion 203 single console. I picked that thing up, and I get to this guy's house. He gives me the address, literally going through the, Jordan, you've been to Missouri, I'm sure how that works. I get up in the hills, up over around the corner, through the woods. There's one single driveway. I pull in the road, go up on top of this hill. There's this beautiful house. I get there, the dude's not ready. All right, so I get there, he's like, oh yeah, it's back here. This guy crappie fished out of this boat, that's all he did. So he had bought it from a big dealership down in Missouri. It was one of the leftovers on the auction, never had a motor. It was a 99 and it came with a 2001 Mercury Optimax on it. When I bought it, it had like 59 hours on it. And he literally, when we got there, it was like moving shit everywhere. Pulled, didn't have a cover on it, pulled like an inner tube off of it, some other stuff, and there it was. He pulled it out into the yard, had halfway blown up tires, put air in them, they held. And while we're doing this, the severe storm thing comes in. And I look at it, he's like, hey, you wanna run it? I ain't got no battery, but you can run it. You'll get a battery out of the lawnmower, we'll just hook it up and It'll be all right. And I'm like, no, dude, I think we'll just look at it. And I looked at it. It was immaculate, shine, beautiful. We got somebody else coming? No. We just got people everywhere today. This is insane. Not a good day not to have a secretary, George. But you can't come this way. Yeah, I guess. Come on, hurry up. Scoot, scoot. Ended up just basically writing the check for the boat. I literally wrote the check for the boat, and because as I'm writing the check, this storm's coming in, and my dad is like, you want to run it? I'm like, Dad, we're gonna die here soon if I don't get this thing. So we hooked it up, got out on the interstate, we drove. I was doing 85 miles an hour, and I was going as fast as I could through traffic to get towards St. Louis, because alongside of us we were chased for 10 miles by a tornado. If any of you live in that area, you know what tornado I was talking about. It literally at times was like 100 yards from us, just taking stuff out, passing us. I'd go faster. My dad's sitting there, and he's like, well, this is as good, best time as any. He reached around back, unzipped the cooler, grabbed a beer, cracked it, and he goes, we're gonna have entertainment, might as well be now. So boom. We got to the first road to the heading north, and we took it. That's what we did. Great boat. Had it for a long time. Actually, I had it for a year. I had it for 12 months because somebody around here literally was gonna pound my door down to buy that boat. So I sold it. I sold it that fall. I didn't even have it a damn year. I got to run it for one season. Somebody bought it. So I was boatless. I went boatless for a little while, and then in between that time, I had bought a little flat bottom with a 50 Mariner on it. Drove that, used it a lot, loved every minute of it. We fished out of my partner's boat, and then I got back into the Champion thing. I went and bought the 203 dual console with the Yamaha 3.1 on it. That boat was known as the Gray Ghost. I bought that boat out in New York. I called my wife on a Thursday night, and I said, I'm going tomorrow to buy a boat. And she's like, oh, okay. I got home Friday. I told her. I got home Friday. I'm like, I'm taking your truck. She had a Tahoe at the time. I said, I'm taking your truck, and I'm going to New York to buy a boat. She's like, what? I thought you were buying it here. I'm like, no, I'm going to New York. She's like, when are you coming back? I said, I'll be back on Sunday. Got in the vehicle, drove clear out to the East Coast. Neil, Terry, my dad, myself, we drove all the way out to New York. I picked that boat up. I got to the marina, he fires it up, he revs it up, he shifts it hard. It was a fucking disaster. The place I bought it from. All they had was yachts. They had a bunch of yachts everywhere, and then they had this Champion. It was immaculate. It was silver, purple pin. I brought it back here, I put it on the water, drove it 45 minutes, it blew up. It blew up. Built it, and ran it for the rest of the year. In that off season, that's when I bought the 250 XB. Bought the 250 XB. It showed up in the spring of the following year. Took the Yamaha off, sold it, parted it down, sold it out. That's obviously when I was working at Team. Bolted on the 250 XB, and the rest was history. Probably the best boat I ever owned at that time. It was crazy, crazy, crazy. Next boat happened to be a Gambler 209. I bought it locally here in La Crosse. It came with the Yamaha Pro V200. It was the Hydrosport model. So when we went to South Carolina to see Heath at Gambler and those guys, they literally had that boat on the wall, the red one with the Yamaha Pro V Hydrosport on it. It came with the Gambler Hydrosport hot foot. It was awesome. Red carpet, red, black, silver pin. Yeah, 209, it was a great boat. I took the Yamaha off. I still have the power head today, so if anybody's interested in a Hydrosport carbureted 200 power head, I have it sitting right over there wrapped up. I took that, I sold the lower unit, sold the trim off of it, and then I purchased a 225 Mercury Optimax Sport, a 2002. Ran it for a long time, sold it 225 Opti off of it, boat's gone. That's what happened there. Then I bought a Stratos 285 Pro XL with complete and thought process of I'm just gonna fix this thing up and I'm gonna drive it and take my kid out fishing and use it type of thing. It came with a Vindicator on it. It was blown. I threw that in the bin. Had a Fict. Yeah, a Fict, really, I did. But it was a good Fict. It was a low hour Fict that was in really good shape. I put that on there. I was actually starting to build it and a customer came in looking for that style boat. I sold it to him, of course, because that's usually what I do. Never got to use the boat. I had full intentions of doing that. But I put that Fict on it. He bought it 3 years ago. and it's actually at my shop right now for the first problem it ever had. He hit something so hard, knocked the gear case right off of it, so broke the exhaust housing. So it's here for that. The boat itself was just basically, it came out of northern Minnesota. I had full intentions of just using it for a beater boat, driving it around, using it for tournaments with my kid. It never panned out. So that's how that goes. Next was a Champion 202, picked up in Texas. Bought that in Texas. That Champion was probably before the Stratos, actually, but it doesn't matter. They all blend together for me. Champion 202 with a Mercury 200 EFI. Got that boat back here. Completely gutted it. Ended up selling a 200 off of it. Got that money out of that to pay for the boat and the trailer. Gutted it. It's sitting as a shell right now, waiting for Andy to get his in gear and finish it. The next one, I bought a 186 with a 150 carbureted. Came out of Minnesota. That boat is in my backyard right now. It's going to get gutted and stripped this winter, and we'll see what happens with it. I'm either going to strip it, gut it, throw it in the bin, or I literally bought it for the trolling motor. That's all I wanted on it. Maybe the seats. Outside of that, I didn't really care. But you never know. I might get a hot fire on my ass and want to go do it. So that was that boat. That is sitting out there. I bought another Champion 202, no motor. Bought that in La Crosse, and I did buy another Champion 203 with a motor. Sold the motor, gutted it, sent it away, had glass work done. It's sitting as a shell right now also. The other 202, I bought it, we gutted it, I gave it to Neil. Neil has that boat. It's in his garage. He's going to redo that one. So that is literally where we're at right now today. I do not physically want to own a boat that I can go fishing in. I do have, like I said, other boats in storage and whatever, but I just don't have the time to fish right now. So it's not going to happen until I get the correct boat and I get the correct time. So till that time comes, I'm just going to be me and just, you never know. When I get a hot fire on my ass and I see the right boat, I'll probably buy it just to have another shell laying around. I have enough boats laying around right now to where if I really wanted to get one done and finished and you could get a new outboard, I'd probably put a new outboard on it and be all right. But I got the inkling to go especially after that last gambler video, and I went fishing and I caught a couple good ones and it was like, yeah, maybe I should do this, and then I got home and it all went away. So once I get myself back on the basketball court and coaching those kids, Jordan, I just can't stop. I love that. So yeah, I do that too. So yeah, that's my list. That's my list of fun. I'll give you a quick rundown. We started on a 14-foot John. I went to a Skeeter Strata F80. Had a Skeeter Starfire with a 150, a Hydrosport, which was a great boat. Rode like shit, but it was a great boat. It was quick, had an intruder on it. Never had a problem with that intruder, ever. The Skeeter ZX202, I blew that motor up. Came from Tallahassee, Florida. Champion 203 single console. Had that for like 8 months, sold it. The 203, the Gray Ghost. Neil loves the Gray Ghost. That was his favorite boat. The 209 Gambler, had that for about a year. 285 Pro XL, sold that, bought it. 202 with the Merc EFI, sold the EFI, have the shell. 186 is in the back, 202 is at Neil's garage, and the 203 is in the shop right now. That's my list of fun right there. That's what I've had, Jordan. Is that cool?
Yep.
And you know what? Out of all of them, one boat had good electronics on it. Everything else had junk. I never was an electronics guy. I had like a 989 or an 898 fucking Hummingbird on it. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Yeah, I bought the first 360 that came out, fucking melted it right away. Had it plugged in, fucking just goo coming out of it, just oozing junk. They never warrantied it for me either, they sucked. Yeah, I mean, that was it. I put a 898 into console and an 898 up front, had the 360 on it. It was awesome for when it worked, and then that was it. And that's it, that's all. I have that 898 laying around somewhere. 360 I think laying on the deck of the boat somewhere. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Neil's gonna get his done 1 year. When are you gonna get that done, Neil? America wants to know. Why? Let's bring her in. Bring her in this winter. Let's get her carpeted up at least. One step at a time. Huh? Carpet? Pumps?
I got glass work.
What?
Glass work.
Well, we can get that done. Yeah. Jordan knows how to glass. I got a guy that wants to come work for us that knows how to do that stuff. I'll call him, see if we can get him hired on. What do you think of that, Jordan? You hear about that?
No.
You didn't?
No.
There's a gentleman that reached out to me. There's a long story. I'll tell you about this afterwards so that America doesn't hear.
Awesome.
But that guy might be coming to Team Marine. We're going to see. Yeah.
Right.
You have questions? I have to finish here. Is that all right?
Finish.
I'm gonna finish right now. Well, that's it. We're done. Make sure you comment down below what you've had, boats you got now, maybe some flip boats that you did. Love to hear it, see it. And as always, like we see in the back right here, am I still going on in the back?
Yep.
That's badass. You can see twice of me. People are gonna be mesmerized. They're gonna look at that and look at this. They're gonna be all messed up. But it's like a drunk Friday night. What do you think? I don't drink, so I don't know. But anyway, were you drunk last Friday?
Nope.
You weren't?
Nope.
Saturday?
Nope.
You got married.
I did.
High five. How's it going so far?
Great.
Everything changed?
No.
No, same shit, different day.
Yep.
Love it. It's a great day. You just moved your name on to somebody else. Did she take your name?
Yep.
You guys are friends now?
Yep.
Great day. Awesome. It's over with, guys. As always, comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell to witness the madness that the person that's calling on that phone is going to say when I answer. Speed, money, no brakes. I'm out. See ya!